Good evening, everyone. We'll get started with our work session. We do have a few pre-approvals this evening, so we will, the first item on the agenda, 451 West Swan, that's a pre-approval. So we'll move on to the discussion of 253 Pappen. And Tracy will recuse herself on this project and has left the room for the discussion. Are there comments on 253 Pappen?
The only comment on her elevations, she didn't call out the major materials that were on the elevations, and I just thought that'd be helpful. I
Okay,
mean, I have an idea what they are, but I don't have any comment regarding, what she's doing there. It's just not really clear.
just
So she,
additional information
Yeah,
is needed.
yeah.
Okay. David?
Yeah, yeah, on the elevations and on the existing photographs, there's a band board or skirting between the siding and the brick. And I thought it would be nice, and it's not shown on the three view nor the elevations. And I thought that'd be nice to extend it around the addition to tie the elevations together. So I didn't know if that was, first of all, to be eliminated or not, because right now it's shown. I didn't know what, just some clarification.
Okay. Mark?
I had no comments on that.
Okay. I had the similar comment about that band board to David, even if it doesn't extend around the addition, because it didn't look like it would have a logical place to die at the rear, that maybe just keeping it where it is to demarc the brick from the siding. And then also it does help to tie together the front and the side elevations. And it also helps to demarc the original house dimensions, which I think is nice. And then I have a couple of other questions. There's a gable louver on the left elevation, an existing one, and I wanted to know if that remains, because it does help to add some interest there and eliminate a large expanse of siding. And also, I was just wanted to verify that the existing chimney is remaining. And then since if the front dormer is being re-sided or not, and will there be corner trim on that? And then as a suggestion only, not any kind of really comment, but the idea of maybe adding a gable louver or a horizontal trim board at the bottom of the rear gable to add some interest on that back elevation. I think that would be helpful. And then also to consider adding some window trim on the existing windows in the sided area, especially on the front, because where those shutters are being removed, the notch in the roof looks pretty big in comparison to the window, and maybe trimming that out might help kind of take up some of the visual width of that notch. And I mean, it's perfectly logical. I understand why they left no trim at the existing, but it just seems to me that it would be logical as well to just have that trim at the sided area and leave no window trim on the brick areas alone. So that was just something to consider. So those would be the comments on that one.
Yeah, and I also had another comment about how the rear rake boards on the existing building roof come down and meet the new rake boards of for example, on side elevation 3 and 2. Just how that looks when it's detailed out, how's that look? Like on the rear 3D elevation, you see the rake coming down through and past and underneath the new roof. Does that get cut back and spliced into the new roof fascia or what? Just curious how that looks.
And I have another clarification as well. It looks like the existing fascia at the gables on the sides is deeper than is shown on the drawings. And I think that deep fascia on the
Oh,
side gables is kind of a nice defining feature. And I was wondering if those deeper fascias are remaining or if they're being replaced with narrower ones. It's just a clarification item.
got it. It looks like also the existing roof line at the front of the house has the, I don't know what you call that, where the slope comes down and at the very end it flares out a bit.
Yes, yeah.
Is that what you're referring to?
Well, I was just, when you look at the gable, the fascia on the gable, it looks like it's deeper.
Oh, just,
Yeah, I was referring to the depth primarily. But yeah, the question about that slope, that kick at the end, that,
And then
Right.
are you saying that she should match that?
I was just clarifying whether those were remaining.
Well,
Because I think it would be nice if they were to remain, or else are they being replaced with a thinner board? Because
Right.
it looks like there's a thinner fascia drawn on the drawings
Right.
than what is existing. So I
Well,
just was looking for some clarification.
yeah,
there.
that kind of begs the question, do we want,
Yeah.
what the new to match the existing? If,
Yeah.
that detail is a favorable detail in terms of the, how the house looks and the rest of the architecture. So
Yeah.
that may be a fair point.
It could be just a drawing thing too, that it just
Sure.
didn't get picked up. So we'll
Yeah.
just clarify, but I agree. I think it looks nice and it'd be nice if
Yeah.
it could remain.
No,
yeah, I would say it's probably pretty hard to draw that. It's
Yes,
probably-
yeah, it would, yeah,
In
it
the
would be
computer.
very time consuming.
Yeah.
Okay, do we have any other comments on 253 Tappan? That it on 253
I
Tappan?
mean, for me, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, can we get Tracy, please? What, are you talking about Swan? Oh, right, okay. I just wanted to verify because I knew there was an email on the first one. Okay. Okay. Ready? Okay. Tracy has rejoined us and our next item is 351 Gray Avenue. There is a pre-approval based on the updated drawings, but Mara wanted to verify that everybody had seen the updated drawings and was okay with them before we make that sort of an official pre-approval. So,
This one here.
yes,
Yes.
is everybody good with that?
Mhm.
Okay, okay, so we will make, yeah, we will make that pre-approval. Nice. The next item to discuss is 801 Edgar.
I had a comment, looks like the notes on the siding say to match existing. But the existing siding looks to be horizontal. But the drawings show board and batten, and I feel like the board and batten is adding an additional material that maybe might be too much for a smaller house to be adding yet another new material.
Yeah, I agree. I was having a hard time with what was shown and with the photographs, shown on the drawings. And I was looking to see, said match existing, and I'm looking all over to
Yeah.
find where's the existing. And I kind of thought maybe one of the photographs, there was maybe something there, but photograph wasn't defined well enough to be able to make that determination. So I agree with Tracy.
Yeah.
It needs to be clarified.
David, do you have any comments?
No, nothing different or new.
Okay, Mark?
No comments on the drawings, just a clarification on the address. Is it
Yeah, I just
801 or
noticed that,
810?
yeah. Oh,
It's 810 on the drawings themselves.
Okay.
it's 810 on the drawings and 801 on the agenda. We'll just have to. The drawings say 810. 8:10, okay. That's okay, we can fix it. All righty. Yeah, I just wanted to verify there's some elements that are shown on the front elevation photos that aren't shown on the drawings, like the chimney, the gable over the front door, and that round window. Presumably those are to remain, but it would be nice to clarify that. And that notch in the roof for egress at the second floor window, I understand why that was done, but it has a bit of an awkward appearance to me.
Yeah.
I'm kind of wondering what the finish is on that vertical side that's going to be visible from the street. And, I'm sure it's possible to drain it, but I see it as a potential for snow and ice accumulation. And I was just kind of wondering if maybe it wouldn't be a little bit easier to work with and easier to drain and a little more planned looking if there was just an area of lower sloped roof
Yeah.
immediately adjacent to
Adjacent to
the
the existing.
existing building that would basically follow kind of the lines of the bottom of their scissor truss that they're using on the interior. You can see that their scissor truss is kind of dotted in on the elevation. Maybe just having a little area of lower sloped roof right next to the house. And, that might call for an adjustment in the window location or something, but I just kind of wondered if they explored some other options there other than that notch. So just a discussion point that maybe they could find something that would be more aesthetically pleasing, drain better, and avoid that potential for the snow and ice accumulation in
Yeah.
that notch.
Yeah.
Or even notch it in both directions so that you only have one end wall on the gable, but then you have a slot through both directions maybe. Rather than a notch than the inside corner.
Yeah, yeah, we can kind of maybe talk through that with them. Okay, anything else on 810 Edgar? Okay, and our last item to discuss here in the work session is 9018 Big Bend Boulevard.
I had comments on the column. There's a new column that's right out there in the front entry, and I was curious if it's gonna be depicted the way it's shown with no base and capital on the column. And then there's an area off to the side of the entry that looks like they're covering up some brick with horizontal siding. At least that's what I'm assuming. I'm not sure if that's brick underneath there, but I would recommend they do not do that scope to put siding over brick and just leave that area as is underneath the gable end of the existing building.
Their comments? David?
I had none.
And Mark?
Nope.
Chuck?
No.
You all good? Okay. Alrighty, with that, we have finished our work session and we will take a pause until 5:30 when we'll be back for our regular meeting. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the ARB meeting. If you're here with us in person, if you would please turn off your cell phone or put it on silent. And if you have to take a call, if you would please step out. We'll begin this evening with introductions. Here on the dais, we have Yolanda Wilkins and Jim Bailey with the city. And then our Board of Architects and Landscape Architects who volunteer to serve here this evening. We have, starting at the far left, Mark Vogel, Chuck Yannicki, David Yates, Tracy Collins, and I'm Carol Danke. We do have some pre-approvals this evening, and I'll explain the pre-approval process a bit. We all the board members submit comments to the city in advance. We review the projects independent of each other. And if there are minor comments or no comments, those projects are considered to be pre-approved, and we'll call those first. If your project is pre-approved, as soon as we take the vote on the pre-approval, you are free to go. We will start with meeting minutes this evening. And may I ask for any comments on the March 7 meeting minutes? Comments on the minutes?
No comments.
Okay. May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the March 7th meeting minutes as written.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And hearing none opposed, we'll start with the pre-approvals. 451 West Swan is our first pre-approval. May I have a motion with the text added on our updated agenda?
I make a motion to approve 451 West Swan Avenue, approved the following understanding. The detailed section dropped beam is not being installed as drawn, and roof will be constructed to match elevations. 6x6 columns will be wrapped with a white vinyl post wrap as in the example provided, with a base and no capital. The railing will be an aluminum railing. The owners will be closing off the underside of the deck and not the contractor.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Our next pre-approval this evening is 351 Gray. May I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve 351 Gray Avenue with the, as submitted with the updated drawings that were received on March 20th.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. 351 Gray is pre-approved. And then our first agenda item is 253 Papin Avenue, and Tracy will recuse herself and step out of the room for this one. If you're here in person, would you please approach the microphone and introduce yourselves and your role in the project, please?
Hi, I'm Katie Schwegler.
I'm Ben Schwegler.
Hi.
We own the house. We are, I don't really know.
So our projects, so we're hoping to overall GC, we're gonna hire a framer as per conversations with the city. So we're gonna hire a framer to get us underneath, protections and then basically go from there with the project. So that's kind of how we fit into this scope. I'm gonna refer to my wife for a lot of things because she's really the leader in this. I'm just the guy that moves things around and says yes.
Did you get a chance to hear our pre-approval or our work session?
questions, yes.
Yes. Okay. Would you like us to just member by member go through our questions and you can address those? Would that work out for you? Or did you have any specific clarifications you'd like to make first?
You can go question by question, but basically the existing house minus the addition that was put on after. So the old addition is getting torn off and we're building a new one in its place. The original house, we're not really doing anything to that. So like the
roof.
siding, the roof, the fascia, none of that is changing. The chimney is staying. That louver on the left side, that's gonna stay. I mean, it might get replaced, because it's ugly. but it'll stay there. And if we can paint it or something, I'm not sure. I mean, we want everything to match. Eventually, we would like to replace the siding on that dormer to match, we are gonna paint everything to match originally, but I mean, we might. What am I trying to say here? Everything's gonna match, and really, we're not gonna do a whole lot of changing to the existing.
Okay, so we're just trying to kind of clarify our scope of work for this project.
Yeah, for this project, nothing is happening to the old,
Okay.
like, brick house.
Okay, and so that the front dormer, your existing siding is going to remain
Yes.
for now. So
Yes.
those were some of our questions,
Yes.
whether that was being resided or whether there was trim boards, but that's all staying. Do you plan to keep your shutters there or
Yep.
for now?
For now, yes.
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
okay.
I mean,
The-
we'll paint it all to match whatever siding we put on the
Okay.
new, just so it looks nice, but yeah, I mean, all of that's staying for now. And that band board, I liked the suggestion about carrying it over. I don't know, I'd have to talk to Tracy about if it'll work with, because the addition has 10-foot ceilings and the original house has 9. And so I like windows and big windows and transoms, and I don't know if that band board going across the front there would cut off the window and look better or worse. I'm open to trying it, but
When I looked at it, because I thought, oh, let's carry this all the way around. And I started drawing on
Mhm.
it myself. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, that's not going to work on the new edition.
I don't think.
Because
yeah.
of the way it lines, but those on the side, they align with that beam on your front porch, those boards.
Right.
So I think that's a nice wrap. And I personally, if it's okay with you, would be in favor of just leaving those where they are and not carrying it all the way around. Because it still demarks the brick from the
Oh,
siding.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna stay on the old part
Yeah.
for always. I mean,
Yeah.
you need something to kind of break it up.
Yeah, and it breaks up the addition, and I think it's nice to kind of see where the original house was.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think the massing and everything on the addition is beautifully done. It looks really nice.
And is the new siding gonna match the existing siding?
No. Okay, so we have like 5 different materials on our house right now, and I want to get to like 2, the brick and then some like siding. So what we're planning on using now because of budget is just like a vinyl siding, like a horizontal vinyl siding. And I would like to replace the dormer with the same siding. But we can't put that in this project right now, but that is our hope, is to do that at the same time.
Is
But-
is existing siding on the side gables? Is that like a shape, like a?
It is a shake.
It's a
Shake-
shake,
okay.
yeah, and I would like to carry that over, again, like it's budget dependent. I mean, if we can afford to do it now, like on the second half, then we will. If not, we'll do that down the road. We also, like, down the road, want to add like an attached garage, maybe another room on the front, so I don't want to spend a ton on siding now, because I know that we're gonna want to upgrade it later.
Yeah, we'll just kind of need to clarify. I understand that some of these things might be budget dependent, but if, it's approved and we say, okay, it's approved with the understanding that that shake is remaining.
The
if you-
shake on the original house is not going anywhere.
Okay, so we just want to verify that it's not in the scope of work to remove that
No,
or
not
replace
at
it
all.
now.
No,
Okay.
I would like to add it to the new structure, just so it ties it together a little bit better, but we're not putting that on here because we don't know that we can right now.
Yeah,
But-
it just would be careful as your construction is proceeding, that if the inspectors come out and see something that's different on the drawings or than it was approved, then
Right,
you
and-
guys would have to come back. So if you're going to make a change, you'd want to give the city a heads up so you don't end up with a misunderstanding.
we don't have to run, wouldn't we have to run it by you first?
Depending upon what it is and
Okay.
how big it is, I just didn't want you to accidentally get into a situation where the inspector came out and said, hey, this is different and you guys will need to stop work. We don't want that to happen. So I
Yeah.
just wanted to give you a heads up.
I appreciate
Okay.
that. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we're not gonna do anything without it being approved first, but if we look at it, and we find out, okay, hey, we have a little extra, we can do this now, then we'll definitely be like, hey, can we do this?
That-
To
that's
whoever, but
That sounds great. Yeah,
Okay.
I just didn't want to inadvertently have a difficult situation for everybody.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and where I was going about the shake on the elevations, it's shown as a horizontal siding.
Yeah,
So that should be clarified because right now on the second floor, you have the two walls of the new, or the existing and new in the same plane.
yeah,
So transitioning from shake to something else would be difficult there unless you step something back, have a trim board or something that would separate. But well, then also you might not like the look of the shake next to the, or the new horizontal next to the shake. Which would then possibly get that board back in. But I see the point of not doing the board because of the window height. So just things to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you could put a piece of trim there.
yeah, I would think like a piece of trim in that corner, just to kind of separate it, would probably look nice.
Are you, gonna replace the windows in the existing house at any time?
I mean, we would like to, but that's also not in the scope of work.
So the addition, correct me if I'm wrong, addition has divided lights shown in the new windows. Is that
Yeah, like the
correct?
grids.
Okay,
Mhm.
but you don't have those. Do
Yeah.
You have those in the existing?
We do on
It's
the
a
second
mix,
floor.
Yeah. it
Okay.
depends
On the
the
second floor, we
window.
do, yeah.
Okay.
On the first floor, we don't. The first floor, the old part of the house is all original windows,
Right,
which
okay.
I love, and it breaks my heart to kind of get rid of, but I know that they need to get replaced,
Yeah.
but that's its own project. The second floor has been replaced.
Okay.
But they're probably 20 years old. So we would like to get the same windows to match,
So
but
the idea is to match.
yeah, absolutely.
future
It
what's-
is. Yeah.
okay.
And that's just not on this project.
I
But
got it.
again, we're
Yeah.
hoping that we can, at least when
Right.
this is finished, move to the front and then
Got it.
fix that all, make it.
That helps because we know which way you're headed.
Yes.
So, yeah, so
Yeah.
as you, as you can over the years, you're going to replace those existing windows that'll match your addition. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to buy them all at the same. I mean, my plan is to buy the windows when I buy all of the windows for the addition is to buy the ones for that, but just kind of hold on to them until we can get them replaced.
Okay.
Sorry, it's
Okay. Um,
kind of a mess.
no, that's okay.
No, you're
That's
not.
okay. Any
Okay.
other questions or
stick.
comments?
Clarify on the side elevation, the chimney is not shown. Is it staying?
Oh, yeah, the
Yeah,
chimney is
chimney,
staying.
Okay, and as well, the railing on the front porch is remaining, correct?
Yeah, it
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not taking it off. It needs
Okay.
probably be.
Yeah, it needs some love. but it doesn't,
Yeah, it needs some love, but yeah, it's staying.
Okay. And yet we clarified that those fascias are staying the same on
We're
the
not
side.
doing
'cause you're
anything
not
with the
doing a-
fascia, yeah,
Yeah.
on the original house.
Okay, just going down the list here, and I think all of my questions have been answered. Anyone else?
Yeah, I think I just had the detailing question about how the existing break boards of the,
Yeah, I don't know
Back roof
what
slope.
those are.
I can show you real quick if you want.
Yeah,
I call these break boards.
Okay.
The board coming down and down.
yeah.
How do those clean up with this new fascia board coming across? Are they in the same plane? Was this going to popped off? Because this and this are the same plane.
I honestly don't know. I do remember seeing a picture where it almost looks like the old house is sticking out further. Yeah, I imagine it'll be like that, but I don't know.
That's something that I guess, ask your architect really,
Mhm.
but,
I mean, I would assume that we would gain a foot on that side. The buildings, the edges will line up.
Mhm.
You should have your actual soffit.
right.
So you should have your overhang, the fascia or the running boards that wraps around the edges.
Yeah, so I figured that would come down and go over and that thing below there could get
Right.
cut out. I don't know.
That's my quick take on this.
Yeah,
How they
I
create-
couldn't tell you.
It would go.
I don't remember the thing.
Okay, anyone else? Okay. I'll just kind of review what I've got on the list that we'll read into the motion for this evening. And if the board members would kind of check your list to make sure we're getting anything, because we'll need a motion here in a moment. The existing siding on the front dormer is to remain. The shake siding on the sides is to remain. The fascia on the gable, same to remain. The horizontal bandboard is to remain. The chimney and the railing on the front porch are remaining. Anything else? I think those were our major clarifications.
And do we need to have anything to, if we're making this a motion to approve with the notes, do we say anything about how we need them to lock in materials as when they submit for,
I think that's kind of a given.
okay.
As far as, our understanding here and with the city regulations, I don't know that we would need to make that a part of
Right,
the motion.
right. I just hate for them
Okay.
to come back to us because they built different than they
Yeah,
submitted.
I think we're good with that understanding that if anything changes from, what we're agreeing to this
Yes.
evening, you guys will contact the
Yeah.
city. Yeah, that's just kind of the rules of the road. So we won't read that into the motion.
All right.
Okay. With that, and if there's no more discussion, could I have a motion, please, on 253 Papin Avenue?
I can make a motion to approve 253 Papin as submitted with the clarification that there will be no changes to the existing materials, which include the shutters, the fascia, existing bandboard, the chimney, front railing, and the existing windows do not change as well. Is there anything else I'm missing?
The gable louver on the left
The
side
gable
will
louver on the
remain.
left side will remain as
Okay.
is.
I think that's it.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 You're approved.
Thank
Okay.
you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Have fun.
And we'll-
try.
we'll get- Good luck. We'll get Tracy back here. We'll wait for Tracy to come back and join us here. There she is. Okay, and our next item up this evening is 810 Edgar.
The architect with adoptive instruction. Hello. For Nellie and Anthony Effen.
Aye.
Welcome. Thanks, guys. All righty, very good. Did you all get a chance to listen to the work session and know what the comments are? Or would you like us to just kind of start with the comments?
We did not.
Okay.
Just before this meeting.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
we did not.
Okay, no, that's fine. We'll just go ahead and the board can start with their comments. Does anyone choose to begin?
Yeah, I just had a question about the siding. It looks like there's horizontal siding on the home already. And the new addition's gonna have a board and batten siding, it looks like. The notes say.
It's
to
actually
match
not a board
exist-
and batten siding.
Oh.
It's a composite siding with a
Just a
vertical,
reveal or something like that.
groove or reveal in it. And I have a picture of that.
Okay.
That's probably better than what you, well, that is actually. Yeah, that's here. And I have, that's something like that or,
But also the horizontal siding is
Yeah.
in the back of the house. So you can
Yeah.
see it from the street.
Yeah, but still from the back, you would see multiple materials. Yeah. Yeah.
The house itself is brick, so either way, from any place that you're standing, you're seeing two types of material.
Yeah, and that's what I was concerned about. Given the size of the structure, I felt like adding another type of finished material would be too much, too busy.
But you're only seeing two in each angle from each angle.
from the front.
Yeah, or from the back, you're only gonna see the siding and the siding.
Is there a reason you don't want horizontal siding?
I just don't like, we didn't choose to have half brick, half horizontal siding. It
Yeah.
was just, that's how the house came.
Yeah.
And so if when we replaced the siding, we would probably match it to the new siding, but I don't, the old siding was not my choice.
So the note that is on the elevation, it's number 5, if you have the drawing, it
Yeah.
says vinyl siding match existing.
That is, an error on the
Okay.
drawings because originally, we had proposed
Yeah.
horizontal siding for the new siding as well.
But I thought it just didn't go.
And
well with the
after
brick.
they looked at it, they said, gee, we really don't like that. And our drawing didn't, the drawing got changed, but the note
The note
didn't.
That's fine.
So that was the discrepancy there.
So there may be some intent in the future to replace existing vinyl siding to match what you're doing.
Correct.
Other comments?
I guess the other point is that where the vertical or the horizontal siding is, if you put a different kind of horizontal siding, there's gonna be a joint where they meet, and that is going to look strange because they're not exact.
Yeah, so there'd be a mismatch in horizontal lines as well as a mismatch in color because the intent is with the vertical siding on the front, they wanted to match the color of the brick so that it looks more homogeneous from the front. So that we'd match the brick color of, with the new siding. But the siding in the rear is the white. So you'd have a mismatch in the back, you'd have a mismatch in the lines of the siding because they're different, just a different geometry siding and a mismatch in color. So that was their objection, or their biggest objection. They have this this sort of double mismatch of sidings in the back. And plus they were also more concerned about what does it look like from the street?
Okay, well, we kind of know the direction that you're heading, so that, I think that clarification helps. A couple of other clarifications, just to verify that there's a few elements on the front elevation that are existing in your photographs that don't appear on the drawings. Like there's a small gable over the front that's staying, and your chimney and the small round window, that's all staying.
On the existing building, yeah, we're not doing anything to the exterior of the existing building.
Yeah, I just, when the drawings look different than the photographs, we just like to clarify that maybe something didn't get overlooked on the scope drawings. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, I mean, just as a means of clarification, on the foundation, we have a stone-like material on the new foundation to match the to match the existing stonework.
Okay. And that's
The existing stonework,
Mhm.
And that's
on the foundation.
you're
This
proposing.
is the new foundation. This is just a sample of the new foundation work, which we're trying to match that existing.
And you're proposing a cultured stone?
Yes,
Okay.
again, we have different material, but we want the same foundation.
Mhm.
Great.
Okay,
Okay.
that's good. Okay.
Good.
And then I had a question too about that notch. I understand you need to have egress out of that existing window. Did you consider a different roof configuration that might drain a little better or look a little more symmetrical?
Well, to do a different roof configuration, it would have to be an almost flat roof. And, because of the lowness of the sill. And for a flat roof would not be appropriate, for that house. And the reason the notch is there is because that's the only egress exit window
Sure.
out of that bedroom.
Mhm.
And we, have to, maintain that
Of course.
exit way.
Sure, yeah, we understand. I was just thinking that maybe like even a low sloping roof here that was somewhat similar to where your bottom chord is on your scissors truss or something.
And what I was considering, because I knew that comment, was basically where that notch is, if we were to slope it to the rear instead of the front, it would look as if it's not a notch, but just a low roof in the front. And I have a picture of that.
Yeah, I think that would be an improvement, yeah.
In other words, the notch is still there. It's just that you don't see that wall.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
So
the
that-
notch is in the back.
That looks
So
good.
that basically it's sloping to the rear.
Mhm.
And so that it looks like it's sort of just a little
Just a little,
Kinda
yeah, picture.
connector roof.
Yeah, that's
And
kind of
so-
what I had in mind, actually. I think that, and then you'd have like some sort of like little tiny gable there on that end,
Right,
that exposed.
right.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that you would just side that, like, yeah. Oh, yeah, I think that's
So it's, I mean, it's not any different, except you're not seeing
Think
that
that
sort of
back wall. Yeah,
back there, and it looks like it looks like as if it's the ridge
yeah,
of a little roof there.
Yeah,
It's hard to see in this,
yeah.
really.
Looks
But,
better.
Yeah.
so you're not gonna see that wall in the back,
Mhm.
but instead it just looks like a
Yeah.
little.
Yeah.
a little bridge
Okay.
roof.
Yeah, that looks
Yeah,
good.
I think that looks great. Yeah.
Oh,
Do you
Kinda like
mind
connector.
if we make this a part of your submittal this evening?
I'd love to.
So we can read that into the motion, because that was my major
Yeah.
concern. And I think that addresses it really, really well.
Okay.
I mean,
Mhm.
I agree.
okay. Okay, any other questions or comments from the board?
No.
Okay, are you guys good? Do you have any other questions or comments for us?
No. She hadn't seen this one.
Oh, did you want to, did you see that?
It
Yeah.
has no effect.
Just want to make sure that you like it. I think that looks great.
So what you good is shut more.
No, well, it actually pushed up a little bit, but not much. It just eliminated, you don't see the wall
Yeah.
On the
right
front,
next to the
yeah.
window, because basically we just notched it all the way to the back.
I wouldn't even.
Okay, okay. Just want to make sure everybody's good before we make this official. Okay, are we good? Okay. Alrighty. I think we're ready for a motion on 810 Edgar.
I'll make a motion on 810 Edgar with the revision to the roof line as submitted this evening.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay, I think we've got everybody, no opposed, and we'll make that a part of our submittal for this evening.
So is there any motion required for the siding issue? I know there was an issue.
I think we're going to go with the way it's submitted on the drawings, so we wouldn't need to clarify that in any way. Okay, so you're approved. We're good. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
And I'm sticking around for price.
Okay,
Okay.
great.
Okay.
Okay. Alrighty, very good. And we'll move on to our last project on the official agenda this evening, which is 9018 Big Bend Boulevard.
I'm Michael Peters. I'm the pastor of Christ the King Community Church,
Hi.
and we're working with Agape Construction on this project.
Very good. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
I just had a question. It didn't really show up in the photos, but yeah, I'll wait till he's ready.
I'll try to answer.
Okay, There's a part of the existing building, it's a gable roof. It looks like, I'm not sure what's there now, is that brick?
No, it's like a yellowish stone that's gonna be covered over to match this structure here to tie in the continuity of it. Yeah, but it's not windows, it's a stone back in the 1960s, when the building was originally built. So we're trying to tie in this building here.
Like this right here, like this,
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
It'd be hard to put siding on there.
Yes, it will be hard.
I'm wondering, yeah, I was wondering if you would just not do that part, just remove that from the scope, because I don't know if it's really adding anything to the front. I mean, if you were just to leave it as is instead of trying to put siding.
We
over
could
it.
leave it as is. I think aesthetically, if you looked at the pictures of it, like in a
Yeah.
three-dimensional mock-up, you end up with 3 different coloring, that sort of thing. But candidly, I'm fine with it because it saves money not to put something.
Yeah, and if it exists somewhere else on the building, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know if it's adding too much, in my opinion,
okay.
to do that.
yeah, and I agree. I think the new addition's far enough away from there that it's not a problem
Necessary, yeah.
necessary.
I
Yeah,
actually,
that's not a make or break issue.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. And then the only other thing, I was just wondering about that front column. It looks like it's just a smooth, just straight, no kind of detail at the base or at the head of the column. This column should just straight up and down, is that kind of what?
That is exactly what it looks like. And I
Okay.
believe that is the way structurally it's gonna tie in appearance wise with this.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, that's fine. I just wanted to clarify that. Yeah, those are my only comments that I had.
Does it call out what it is? Or
Um,
boral, is boral a
It's like a,
composite?
yeah, it's like a plastic.
okay, any other comments, questions?
I didn't.
Okay,
So if we make a motion, would you be okay if we omitted that area of
Yes.
siding? Okay,
So just to be clear, we are omitting changing the structural appearance of what's on the side of the gymnasium, which is now that existing stone. We leave that as is.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking, yeah.
This is supposed to cost us money, not
Yeah.
save us money. I think we got this backwards.
All right, well, I'll make a motion on 9018 Big Bend Boulevard with the clarification that the siding over the existing stone on the existing building will be omitted from the project.
Second.
all those in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye. Very good. You're approved.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, and with that, our official meeting is complete this evening and we will adjourn.